Coming up in this episode of the Dark Theme Park Show, we discuss trip planning for a creepy time at Walt Disney World. Greetings and welcome to the Dark Theme Park Show, Creepy Kingdoms podcast, all about theme parks. I am your host, Mr. James H. Carter II. And coming up in this episode, we continue our epic trip planning series. If you listen to the last one, I'd stated that it was going to be broken into 3 parts, but I've decided the last 2 parts are going to be all in one, right here, right this episode. But before we jump to this epically long episode, I have to let you guys know, since the last time we spoke, that our documentary about Haunted Mansion fans, Foolish Mortals, is finally available to watch online. And it is exclusively available in the Creepy Kingdom Patreon. That's right. Right now, Foolish Mortals can be watched online right in our Patreon. First time available online. And I want to add that we will be releasing bonus content from Foolish Mortals also exclusively in our Patreon. We filmed over 50 hours of interview footage for this 90-minute film. So we have plenty of extra content that we'll be releasing right in the Patreon. Now is the time to jump into our Patreon. Coming soon, we have our Patreon exclusive podcast, Live from the Dungeon. Our uncensored show coming very, very soon. Foolish Mortals in its entirety, bonus footage. All waiting for you at patreon.com/creepykingdom. Alrighty, well, it's time to rope drop because the gates are now open. Alright, I'm back here on the Dark Theme Park Show. It's part 2 of the epic Southern Californians' first time to Orlando trip planning extravaganza.
Woo!
I'm joined by the travelers themselves, Melissa.
Hi.
Tanitia.
Hey.
Alexander. No, Alexander's not coming?
Who?
Alexander. I was just throwing you guys a curveball. You didn't. Hey. There's Alexander. All right. Anyways, and that voice you heard was not Alexander. It was Sir Florida Man himself. Grant.
Hey.
There you go.
Florida
That's him.
Man.
And the last, as we ended our cliffhanger last time, we said we would be joined by another person.
Dun, dun,
And
dun.
that person is the evil queen of the Creepy Kingdom, Miss Roxy Tart.
Hello, citizens.
Boo. Hiss.
Boo hiss.
Marvel at my beauty.
I think Grant was, he enjoyed being, having all the attention on him while you were gone.
Move over, Florida Man.
Okay.
So this is part 2 of the trip planning, and in this part, we're going to be talking all about their first time going to Walt Disney World. And,
Yes.
and as alluded to in the last episode, you guys, obviously you've spent a lot of time in Universal Hollywood, as we were talking about your thoughts on the Harry Potter offerings there. But you guys spend even more time at Disneyland.
A lot of time.
Yep.
So much time.
So the angle of this trip planning is really, some for people that are so familiar with Disneyland and love creepy fun stuff. What should be the priority at Walt Disney World? What should be skipped? How should we do it?
What is Fast Pass Plus?
What is
What are
Fast
these
Pass?
Magic Man things?
Should I start training walking before I leave?
The answer to that is always yes.
How high should I raise my credit card limit to?
Good one.
The correct answer is $20,000.
Ooh, all right.
I don't know what their budget is, but if that was the budget, I think I'd add a lot more things to this list. Anywho, and as established last episode, they are staying off property, so that's not the angle as well. And I think that's all we have 4 days, 1 park per day, not getting park hoppers, correct?
Yeah, no park hoppers.
Yeah, there's no Mickey's Express that goes between the parks that you have to do.
Okay.
And I think that's all the parameters to bring the listeners and Roxy up to speed. Is there anything else that I missed?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. Are you guys going to have a car, or are you Ubering? Or listing?
So our the timeshare we're staying at actually offers a shuttle to both of the theme parks for free, included with our stay there. So
they're going to a shuttle from their timeshare to the parks. They will not be traveling from park to park in the same day.
Okay.
right. Yeah.
I know that's
Okay.
what I know. That's
you don't
what
have to worry about parking.
I know
You
that's
don't
what
have
you're
to worry
concerned
about
about.
transportation, all of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are the
cool.
shuttle times good though? Like I've seen some hotels where, it's like this shuttle leaves here at 7:30 and the park doesn't even open till like 10, and then like you have to be back on the shuttle by like 6:30, but the park closes at midnight. Are the times conducive that you know of?
That's a really, really good question. I don't know.
They're probably
Depending
not.
on what-
They're probably not. And I'm going to say you should probably
probably not.
plan to take a Lyft or Uber.
Yeah, I mean that's what we were thinking if we stay late, because I know something else Melissa and I have talked about, which I'm sure we'll probably talk or get into as well, as exploring some of the resorts there. So we definitely, I think we're already kind of aware that we may need to take Lyft or Uber at some point.
Yeah, the shuttle's probably good
there
in
are
the
a few
morning, but probably not at night. That's from my experience.
Yeah.
There are a few resorts that are super easy for you to explore, but we'll get into that as you get to each park. That's what you can see.
I
Okay.
was going to say, there is actually a way for you to take the shuttle to one of the parks in the morning and explore every hotel that day without ever paying for transportation.
And I'll tell you what day, when we'll get to what day you should do that on. But we'll get there.
Okay.
All right.
But you only have 4 days,
excited.
right? You only have you're fitting this resort exploring into your theme park days, correct?
Into our theme park days, what we're thinking, and with your feedback that we receive, is on the theme parks that maybe aren't a full on 12-hour a day necessary.
There are two of those for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense to go do it after your theme park day.
Yeah.
And based on where you are, that's going to work out. Oh boy, I'm so excited! I want to go to Walt Disney World.
Me too. I can't believe you put me on this call and I'm not going to Disney World. It's just rude, James.
Yeah, well,
I could go
Bill's
there
character.
tomorrow if I wanted to.
You know what, Grant?
Lucky.
I mean, I don't
Rub
want
it
to
in
get
our
fired from my job, but I'm just saying I could theoretically be there if I wanted to.
well, you do live 3 hours away, which is way further than all of us live from Disneyland. So
I was gonna
Hey,
say,
I
could
drive
walk
there and
to
come back.
Disneyland if I wanted to.
you can,
I
Roxy can
have
walk
driven
there.
there and come back in the same day so many times that what's a little long haul trucking?
I don't know, but let's get to what's going down here. I'm gonna do the same thing as we did last episode. I'm gonna talk about we're gonna go park to park, talk about what you should skip as a Disneyland local and what you definitely need to do. In my humble opinion, and Obviously, my expert panelists will chime in with their opinions on that as well. Something was alluded to last episode, which is, I think we're going to get really heated and controversial right off the top here.
That'll be fun.
What?
Yeah, there was a little clue there, and I don't know, but
Honestly, it wouldn't be a Disney fan discussion without
Without getting heated and controversial.
without getting heated. Yeah.
You're so right.
Very true, very true. So we're gonna start where dreams come true. There, of course, the Magic Kingdom Park.
That's our day one.
Yep. Well, as it should be. So
I thought you were talking about Charlie Sheen's house.
We don't plan on stopping by there on the trip.
Where all your dreams come true.
I have no witty response to that. So yeah, I think the skippable attractions here as a Disneyland local. I'm gonna say the Little Mermaid. I don't know. They have two different names.
That's not at the Magic Kingdom. Oh no, that is. You're right. I'm sorry.
Wow, you're just
I was thinking about the show.
Mr. I have to drive
show.
tomorrow.
Well,
I was thinking about the show.
you should skip the show too, but
I love that. Okay, so Little Mermaid is the exact same ride.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's literally the same thing. The exterior is amazing in Magic Kingdom, so just go look at it and say, "Wow, it looks great." And then imagine all the times you went on it in DCA, and you just saved yourself all the time in the world, right?
Perfect.
I also think you should skip Space Mountain because I just don't think that it's as good as Disneyland's. I don't really enjoy Walt Disney World at all.
But I heard it's like a really different experience, though.
It is, and it's not a different, not good experience in my opinion.
But if you
Matterhorn seating.
Don't listen to James.
That's what I heard. It's like Matterhorn.
Experienced it before, you should ride it.
Well, the preface I said too is that I'm going to talk about the must-dos, and then if you have time, of course, do the things that you haven't done before. But I'd take it off the priority list. Yeah, I don't like the Matterhorn seating for Space Mountain.
Well, and if it's as painful as our Matterhorn is right now,
Oh my God.
won't be able to ride it. Oh, it's terrible right now.
I don't think it's that painful, but
Childbirth isn't that painful.
I know. It's
Right? It's terrible.
They reopened. It's not. It's pretty bad.
yeah. So it's not as painful as Matterhorn, but or childbirth, but it's always a long wait. Like it's one of the most popular rides in the park, and it's not. It'd be a waste of your time. That's my opinion.
Do they have single rider? Are we going to go over which of these rides have single rider?
I don't think Magic Kingdom has much single rider, honestly.
No, I can't think of anything that's single rider.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking
Universal has some single rider, but we've already been there, done that.
I forgot to ask. That's all right.
Yeah, but
you won't need it.
You're not going to need it. Universal or not. I don't think you're really going to need it.
Okay. Oh, sorry. What time? Okay, so. What type of day are you planning on being at Magic Kingdom?
We're sure you have the dates picked
Tuesday?
out.
On a Tuesday, yeah. You're not. Crowds are going to be super heavy, or super thin, especially in January.
Great.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. That's beautiful.
Now, you're not. As long as you're not going on like Martin Luther King weekend.
It's going to be the day after Martin Luther King Day. Is that when we're going to get there?
Oh, okay. So you know what? It's going to be heavier at Universal than I told you prior because.
Oh no. So so we're going to Disney World first, but our first day at Disney World is the day after Martin Luther King Day.
Okay, then you are going to be fine. I'm sorry. I wanted to clarify that because I would say buy all express passes and stuff. Sorry. Moving on.
Moving on.
I think you could skip Big Thunder.
Yeah, no, 100%. Big Thunder at Disneyland is a lot of fun, and I enjoy it, especially with the new effects that they put in a few years ago. The experience at Magic is there's no effects. It's a different ride. It's not as fun of thrill.
Okay.
I agree with you on that one, Roxy.
It's very Big Thunder. Also, Small World. It's just
Yeah, I didn't even know if that was even on the list, but it's it's just Small World, but
lame compared to it.
It's actually better in Disneyland because it feels like some place that's been there. In the Magic Kingdoms, it feels like somebody set up Small World in a warehouse.
Oh no.
You could also skip Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, no, shut up.
No.
Hold on.
Excuse me?
No, we're not gonna. I'll get to Haunted Mansion in a second. The last on. We have something way more important to talk about. The last on the. You could skip this, and there's a bunch of other things too that are exactly the same or similar at Magic Kingdom than Disneyland. You know, Jungle Cruise is another one.
No. Do Jungle Cruise.
Why? Sell me on it.
You
What's
go through
different about it?
You go through a temple, a creepy temple in
you're right.
in Florida, where you don't do that in California.
Forgot about that. So if you like creepy temples,
Ooh, love creepy temples.
then go on it. All right, cool. My bad. But we have something really important to talk about, and that's the fact that you must, at all cost, skip riding Pirates of the Caribbean.
Agreed.
Don't tell me this. Pirates is my all-time favorite attraction.
Then you're going
How can I not go on it?
You know why you can't? Because when you get off it, and if you're saying that's your all-time favorite attraction, when you get off of it, you're going to be so upset and angry and mad.
How am I supposed to accomplish my goal of going on every Pirates iteration in the world?
That's a bad goal.
Wait, okay.
Skip that and go to Shanghai's instead. It's better.
If Pirates is your favorite ride, if you have the time and if you really, really want to, go ahead and do Pirates. It's your trip. The three of us, however, all agree we will not be going on Pirates in Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
I have a completely different reason for not going on it than most people do, but that's neither here nor there.
We won't get into that reason. I know what you're talking about, Roxy, but the reason that I say to anyone that's ever been on Disneyland's Pirates that going to ride a Magic Kingdom Pirates is that it is, I don't know, 2/3 of the ride is gone. We could start right there.
What?
Wow.
When we
what is in its place?
Okay,
Nothing.
they okay, so you know on how in California, you know how you get to go through all those creepy caves and see all the awesome skeletons doing things?
Yeah.
Yeah, say goodbye to that. And then you know the awesome end where you go through the fire and all that stuff and you get to climb up the waterfall. Yeah, say goodbye to that as well. And you like your second drop? Yeah, that's not a thing either. So it's
and no Blue Bayou scene, right?
No, of course there's no Blue Bayou, but
Blue Bayou, yeah.
no. And if you want to make it even be sadder, look up the history as to what was supposed to be built instead.
Yeah, that's a whole different story. Like, yeah, there was supposed to be a different ride, like a Western version of Pirates built for Walt Disney World, but when called Western River Expedition. But when Walt Disney World opened, people wanted the Pirates because they complained so much that they just built Pirates instead. That's the abridged version of that story. But also there was one reason I would say that you should go on Pirates that they recently took out.
Yep.
And that was they used to have mermaid projections in the ride, like from Stranger Tides mermaids, and then they took them out recently. So now it's like there's no reason to go.
Man.
The queue is a way more awesome, appropriate feeling queue than the one at Disneyland, which, but other than So that
They do have a better queue.
That might make you
if
think
you're really
that-
into waiting in line.
Yeah, if you love waiting in line. I'm
Are you
saying
guys gonna do a podcast that's all about queues? Like queues?
Yeah, we
to
could
queue?
do that.
I love that idea.
That would be dope. Just throwing that out there.
Well, the queue isn't that awesome, but if we were to do a show, I'm just saying it looks like, oh man, that queue looks like something cool is happening down there. I better, you might have this little bit of FOMO walking by. You're just like, oh, I got to get in there. But I'm just telling you don't need to get in there. And
Paris has the
They're gonna
best
lure you
Pirates
in.
queue.
Okay.
now, Roxy, does the reason you won't ride it again have to do with something that was brought up on a very old episode of Creepy Kingdom?
Yes, it does.
It's been fixed.
I'm not sure that I believe you.
I'm going to say it.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna bring it back.
Go ahead.
One of our contributors of our show used to work at this attraction, Adam Leonard, and he informed us that the inside of the boats are completely filled with cockroaches.
Oh God!
Oh no!
And that
Wait,
occasion,
I didn't even know that.
I thought you were talking about the redhead scene. I was like, well, that's been fixed. Yeah.
No.
no.
I didn't know about the boats.
What did you think?
Oh no, I'm really never going.
What did you think I was talking about?
I know that the ride is infested.
Yeah, the boats. It's the boats.
just like the ride itself, like the queue and whatnot. Like but I didn't know about the boat. I don't think you ever let me listen to that one, as a matter of fact. And now I know, and I'm still not going on it.
No, it wasn't even actually on a podcast. It was like a Patreon exclusive.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I kept that
F
secret.
that ride.
It's such a bummer because they just rushed it because they weren't planning to build it there, and and if you go on the Disneyland version, I understand people that go on the Walt Disney World version first. Yeah, it's awesome, but I'm always like, that's one case where the Disneyland version doesn't even, it's not even a question which one's better. Like, it's just like, we said our piece. I'm sure you're still going to go on it.
Okay. So I'll think about it. I'm gonna still be tempted to go on it, but maybe it won't be like we do it. Maybe I'm thinking either do it first thing in the morning and just like get it over with and be like done, or
Do you want to be depressed for the rest of the
Wear
day?
closed-toed shoes.
oh, good. Well, okay. Oh.
Oh, brother.
Sorry.
But there's it's actually haunted though. I've heard stories of ghosts there, so maybe that's a reason to go on there.
This is not a ghost story show, James.
I know, but I've heard ghost stories.
All right, so we said what we don't feel that the girls should do. What should they 100% do?
You also don't need to do Splash Mountain, I would say. That's pretty similar.
Well, no, I actually had that on my list. I think it's different enough. But
my wife's yelling at me that it's closed in January.
Well, it's closed, and also it's low on the priority list. But I think it's different, and the main difference is not only the seating is different. It's the Space Mountain ride vehicles of Disneyland, but also the animatronics were actually built for the attraction, as opposed to Splash Mountain and Disneyland are repurposed animatronics from an old show called America Sings, and so it just feels newer.
Yeah.
And so I like it. I haven't been on it in a long time, but
I still love it. It's just if you're on a time crunch, that's one of those things that you can kind of take or leave.
And water in my hair, like I just,
Well, it's closed anyway, so it's off.
Amen, girl.
So clearly, you're on this show. It's the creepy kingdom, all this crap, whatever. Clearly, Haunted Mansion's number one thing you need to do, and if I'm not gonna sit. We're not gonna sit here and like ruin it for you guys, but essentially, the beginning of the ride has a lot more to it than what's at Disneyland's, and the end. The middle is basically the same, but the beginning and the end is added, and you just got to do it. So now that's a given.
I was clearly joking when I was saying that you could skip that because I was going to rise up
I was like, excuse me?
I just skipped that. Don't worry about
it. Obviously, you have to do Snow White because we don't have anything like it here.
Huh?
You're just moving to the next one.
The dark one, right? Dark ride?
No. Snow White isn't the dark ride's not there anymore.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The Mine Train.
Mine Train.
Yeah, Mine Train's worth doing.
Yeah. That's next on my list. In fact, Mine Train is still pretty much a really high in demand attraction. I think it's got very low capacity. So you're gonna need to
Fast pass that.
Yeah, and we'll get to your fast pass tips. Yeah, but and if you don't get a fast pass for it, I would do that as the first ride. I would rope drop that one because out of the things on my list here, that's going to be the most in demand. Well, another one might be as well. But yeah, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train it's it's a fun ride, and the ending of it is really cool. I don't want to give that away either, but I was really happy with the end of the ride.
Yeah.
It's very creepy, in my opinion. Whoa.
Whoa.
Back to the Future got really loud there.
Magical.
Put your phone on mute, Roxy.
Oh, my bad. Was that me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That was like super loud because you.
My bad.
Next here on my list is only at Walt Disney World, which it's kind of childish and goofy, but there are some really awesome effects in it, and it is Enchanted Tales with Belle.
I was going to suggest this as well because of the effects.
The effects are awesome. Like it's that alone, I think it's worth doing. I mean, it is really childish, but again, you get to take a break and have a seat and watch kids be super stoked about reenacting Beauty and the Beast after the effects happen.
Well, speaking of things where you get to sit down and take a break, Mickey's PhilharMagic.
It's almost like you can see my list, Roxy. And she can't.
It is not a complete trip to the Magic Kingdom without jumping into Mickey's PhilharMagic for me, usually right when it starts to rain.
Yeah, that's a great place to get out of it, but I have to kind of add to what you're saying. This attraction is like such a Walt Disney World attraction. Like, I mean, I think it's only here, but it really feels like Walt Disney. Oh, excuse me. Where else is Mickey's PhilharMagic?
We have done Mickey's PhilharMagic in Tokyo. We have done it in Hong Kong, and they have just put it in Paris.
Well, that's why you're here, Grant. Because I don't know. I wouldn't know any of that off the top of my head.
And I will say Donald Duck works very well in Japanese.
Nice.
I can only imagine. But essentially,
Just imagine.
this is, I mean, it's mostly just, it's a 3D show. But what's cool about this particular space is that when the park opened, it used to be like an animatronics show I think it's called the Mickey Mouse Review or something like that. I don't really remember off the top. But it was basically an animatronic show of different things from different Disney movies, and now they kind of just made it into a 3D movie, and so that Mickey Mouse Review show, I'm pretty sure, was only at Magic Kingdom, unless Grant's going to tell me it was also at Tokyo at one point.
Actually, there was a version of it in Tokyo, and that's where the animatronics that have been added to the Grand Fiesta Tour featuring the 3 caballeros that are at the end of it have been moved from.
Oh.
They're from Tokyo. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's got, I think, like, and what Roxy said, that's a Walt Disney World experience, going to see Mickey's PhilharMagic.
Oh, for sure.
It's even though it's
in English anyway.
Even though it's copied around the world, I still think that's a must-do. Another one that might be a surprise that I put on this list is the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
What?
Really?
That is always on, like, right on the line for me. That literally skirts the line of should I or shouldn't I.
That's so much like the one at Disneyland, though. It's pretty close.
It's close, but it's not the same. And I'm an advocate for it because it's obviously it's similar, and I think they're both opened at the same time, if not very close to each other. But
I'm actually surprised you. Yeah, I would have thought that would have been one of the things you were like, we have it at Disney, skip it.
You know, the thing for me is that when you actually, the things that happen in the attraction, it's actually a nonstop peril. Like, you think of Winnie the Pooh and you think of just like really fun, silly times. But it's nonstop peril and then hallucinations. Like, it's actually a really awesome ride.
But how does it differ from Disneyland's where it's like, we have to do it? Like, I'm just curious, like, what your take is of why we need to do that version.
To me, it seems a little more sinister. Like, maybe it's more condensed. I don't think they have the drawn out birthday party scene that's in the Disneyland version. And
they do.
okay, I don't remember, but it's not as drawn out.
Oh yeah.
Because that's like pretty much the whole end of the ride after you leave the hallucination Hufflepumpalooza. That one seems like way more bizarre in Walt Disney World, and there's also like a tornado scene. I don't believe that's in Disneyland, right? Where Al's house is about to be blown away.
Oh no,
You're
they don't
right.
have that.
You're right. That's different.
And as a Disney nerd, well, that attraction replaced Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. So in that scene, there's a picture on the wall of Mr. Toad handing the deed to the house to Al on the wall. So I always have to.
That is, in my opinion, the best part of the ride.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
The Haunted Mansion graveyard also has a statue of Mr. Toad up at the top.
That's right, in memoriam of
in the pet graveyard.
But
The pet cemetery has Mr. Toad.
As far as dark rides and whatnot in Fantasyland, Peter Pan, if for nothing else, in the queue.
yeah, dude, why?
Yeah.
You keep jumping ahead to my list. Like, it's just so you know what I'm going to say. Is that what it is? The queue to the Peter Pan's flight is absolutely incredible. They just opened it up like in the past few years, and it is like a whole separate attraction than the ride. Like, in fact, it probably costs more money to make the queue than originally to make the ride.
In the ride, yeah.
Oh wow.
Sure.
You wouldn't want
Is
to
it
fast pass
interactive?
it. Yeah.
What was the question?
Oh, sorry. Is it interactive or something?
There are interactive elements to it,
Mm.
but it is so detailed and it's so cool. Like, there was this initiative that they were starting to do in Disney World that they eventually stopped because they weren't getting a return on the investment, where they were going to build all these elaborate queues and like opening scenes to the classic attractions. They did it at Haunted Mansion by adding the interactive graveyard to walk through, and then they did this one, and then eventually they realized that it didn't really make a difference. People are going to wait in line anyway, so they eventually stopped doing them. But I'm glad that they made this one, because I mean you really feel as though you're like walking through the Darling's house. That's kind of what it is, and then it leads up to getting on the ship and flying out the window like it does in Disneyland.
Yeah.
You can pretend like you're an intruder going through their bedroom.
Yes.
You're taking a tour of their house to see what you're going to steal.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I just like. I absolutely 100%.
Well,
Country Bear Jamboree.
Well, so I have three more things. The Country Bear's not on my list.
Well,
I don't know.
That's kind of creepy in a way.
Yeah,
Creepy animatronic bears.
Did you gals love Country Bears when you were kids? When it was at Disneyland?
Not particularly, no.
Yeah, just
No,
I don't remember
I feel
going
like-
to that.
I feel like the only reason to go see Country Bear is if you loved it when you were a kid and you need that nostalgia. But if not, just skip it.
yeah, just skip it.
Or get out of the rain and get Macy.
I feel like that's a running theme with you, Grant.
Well,
Get out of the
well,
rain, get some AC.
one thing that we haven't
Florida
really
gets hot.
emphasized to you guys is the brutality of the humidity that takes place in Florida. It might hopefully not will be so bad in January, but getting out of the outside as much as possible, that is something that you're definitely going to be making as part of your decision-making process of what you should do next.
Oh man.
In all seriousness, you will see families like in June and July, like that seem really good. You'll see them break down and like have like just the biggest like snaps on each other because the weather, like unless you're used to what Florida is like, nothing will prepare you for this heat and humidity and the crowds and the crying and stuff. That there can be some breaking points that happen. Now January should be a little more mellow.
I mean, that's probably the best time for weather out of the whole year, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
and probably crowds as well.
That's what we're hoping for.
So A plus to that, but but who knows? Get ready.
Oh man.
Yeah. So the other things at Magic Kingdom that are unique to being there. Now, as a Disney nerd, and you guys, you'd mentioned that you'd never done it before, and it was at Disneyland at some point. I don't remember when, but it is the Carousel of Progress. And talk about getting out of the rain,
Oh,
See that?
God, I forgot about I didn't even think about Tomorrowland.
Yeah, well, the next things on my list are all in Tomorrowland.
How could I forget the People Mover?
Well, yeah, of course, the People Mover. That's an absolute must do. In fact, my last trip, I only went on 2 rides in Magic Kingdom because I had such a small amount of time, and it was Haunted Mansion and the People Mover. So, especially, it's just the track's just sitting there taunting us in Disneyland.
Oh, I know. It's so torturous.
So sad.
So sad.
So
Curse you, rocket rods.
I know. Oh, don't even get us started.
So
That's like a whole other conversation.
So you gotta hop on the TTA like as soon as before you do anything in Tomorrowland, because of course that's the run through, and you get to see that amazing City of Tomorrow model, that's there as well. But Carousel of Progress, as a Disney nerd, it's one of the attractions that was built for the '64 World's Fair by Disney that completely. Essentially, all these corporations gave Disney money to make these attractions, and with that, they were able to develop the technology to further the stuff that they did in the parks. So all these corporations paid for the R&D, essentially, for so many of the things that we love now, like Haunted Mansion and Pirates and all that stuff. And it's a Disney nerd must do, and it's it's only. The actual real attraction that was at New York, then went to Disneyland, and now its resting place.
Its final resting place.
Its final resting place is. In all honesty, it doesn't really belong in Tomorrowland, and I think it belongs in Epcot.
Absolutely,
but it's there. So
I would say I would argue that most of Tomorrowland does not belong in Tomorrowland right now.
100%. It's really bizarre and weird.
It's where they drop IPs off like Monsters Inc. and Stitch and stuff.
Well, the other thing I was going to mention, even though it's there, it doesn't belong there, is a very Walt Disney World experience is going to Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. Because they don't really have shows like this in Disneyland. Or I don't think there's any show like this, even close to it in Disneyland. And
Nope.
Essentially watching the monsters from Monsters Inc. Do stand-up comedy in real time. And, again, good place to take a load off and have a seat.
Yep. Get out of the rain.
And plus
I'm making special notes on my little notepad here.
Yeah,
Places to chill.
Yep.
Places to get out of the rain and get some AC. That should be its own list.
I will say, if you go on the TTA, which is their version of the People Mover, be sure to not be the biggest jerk in the world and play on your phone in the Space Mountain area, because man, that hurts your eyes if you're on Space Mountain and you see somebody like shining their flashlight. It happens all the time where people shine their flashlight on their phone.
Well, I never thought about that, because when you're on TTA going through Space Mountain, it is literally like pitch black. Like,
yeah, so people like shine their lights
because they want to see. Yeah, because they want to see what's going on. Interesting. Yeah, do whatever you want.
Blinding.
It's your vacation.
Yeah.
Because you won't be on
Space Mountain. The last time I went on it, Space Mountain was broke and all the lights were on.
Yeah, that's great.
So if you see that Space Mountain is down, go on the People Mover.
Yes.
Because when you go through, you get to see the track all lit up, and you can see what the inside looks like and stuff.
That would be cool.
I will say the track is very scary looking when you realize how tight everything is next to each other.
That's awesome.
Good pro tip. All right, I think we're ready to move away from Magic Kingdom, right, guys?
Let's go.
Any food that you think that they need to eat at Magic Kingdom?
Yeah, food.
Crystal Palace is really pretty. Like, even if you don't want to eat there, you should go check it out because it's gorgeous.
Well, we were doing restaurants at the end as a good
thing.
But,
just kidding. Sorry.
But that's fine. We can keep it. Now we switched it up. I think you were saying it's about time to start getting your reservations in or whatever you're doing. Make a very strong, valiant effort to get yourself into Be Our Guest restaurant. I'm sure.
I already got it.
We got it.
There you go. All right. And when you go there, make a very strong request to eat in the West Wing.
Yes.
Like,
I'm gonna play the birthday card because the day we're actually gonna be there is actually going to be my birthday. So I'm gonna play the birthday brat card and hope that they, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I guess they seat you randomly. I've only done lunch there, where you could go where you want, but I assume that you can't pick it ahead of time for table service. But so I don't know. I would just be like, I gotta go there.
Please. I
And
came
I'll
all the way
recommend-
from California.
I recommend Skipper Canteen if you want something a little more adventurous, and if you kind of the idea of a Jungle Cruise skipper serving you your food.
Oh.
Casey's Corner has really nice hot dogs. They do hot dogs of the month there, so once in a while you get something kind of wild. And then there is a cart in between, right next to Pirates of the Caribbean, which you will not be going on. There is a food cart that serves egg rolls, and they're cheeseburger egg rolls, and they also have random flavored one.
That sounds delicious.
And there's never a line for it, and yet it's always really, really good. So
I didn't even know that was there.
Be sure to do them.
Way to tell me about that. But the other thing I think is a cool place to just go and check out, whether you actually get something there or not, is Gaston's Tavern.
Oh yeah.
They have the signature drink, LeFou's Brew, their attempt at a butterbeer competitor. Not quite the same drink, but I like it. It's if you like apple juice, it's kind of tasty like that with marshmallow on top. And it's very well themed.
Next to that, if there's no line, be sure to meet Gaston, because he is actually one of the best characters you can interact with.
Oh.
He's super arrogant, so he's a lot of fun to talk to.
I can only imagine. Ours at Disneyland just likes to look at himself in the mirror a lot. I don't know how much talking he does, but yeah.
Yeah.
I had a full conversation with him, and it was hilarious.
At Disneyland?
Yeah, at Disneyland.
Where's Gaston at Disneyland? I've never even seen
He
him.
walks around the Princess Fancy Fair area and Fantasyland.
At Not So Scary this year, he was actually meeting with Belle, which was a very interesting dynamic, because she was constantly trying to get away from him, and then she was stuck there talking to him. It was kind of funny.
Interesting.
I love it.
All right, so let's go to Epcot. Let's go there. And
Okay.
right off the bat, I'm gonna say, Soarin', you need to take that off of your list of things to do, because that is exactly the same attraction, and it's one of the most popular attractions at Epcot. So there's always a huge, ridiculous long wait, and if you had that little spark of curiosity, you'll be like, I wonder if it's different. It's like, it's not at all.
No, the only difference is you return to Epcot at the very end of the ride instead of returning to Disneyland.
Oh, okay.
Oh, with the sword around the world. Yeah, man, before that, they actually had the video from DCA, so you would fly over Disneyland at the end of the ride.
What?
No, it used to be soaring over California at Epcot, which was super strange.
Yeah, and it was Christmas when they filmed the video, so it was like Disneyland Christmas at the end of the
That's so weird.
Oh, okay. I also want to say that it's also the Festival of the Arts is going to be going on during that time.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, we're talking about skipping, but
no. I was just gonna say, when you get to Epcot, be sure to bring some extra money so you can buy random art, because there is really phenomenal art that you can bring back with you. And I have a giant, realistic-looking Mr. Toad from that. So, okay, but yeah, just saying is, prepare to spend some money there if you like art.
Perfect.
Okay, sorry.
If you like art, who doesn't like art?
I hate art.
Yeah, the other thing that's exactly the same is Turtle Talk with Crush. So I don't know if that was high on your list of things to do, but
Not really.
whoa, another Jenga loss. Is that you, Grant?
I was getting some ice for some water.
It sounds like Jenga's fell over.
I'm trying to think of what I absolutely have to do at Epcot, but I swear all of mine are about eating.
Getting drunk.
Well, yeah. As far as
Drinking
attraction,
around the world, right?
I
What I heard.
You know,
The goal.
yeah, that's something some people do. They attempt to do.
That have way too much money and think that spending $10 for a 3-ounce pour of alcohol is acceptable.
If you are going to drink around the world, my suggestion is that you do it on your last day. Because otherwise, you're probably not going to get to whatever park you want to go to next.
Oh, Epcot's going to be day 3, so we probably can't do that.
My suggestion.
No, Epcot's day 4. It is our last day at Disney World, but we have Universal the next day, so that'll be a problem.
My suggestion for drinking around the world is start in Canada, do a drink at each place, and then when you finish off in Mexico, then go on Mission Space.
Oh, no.
All right.
See how well you've done.
Oh, no.
You're just mean.
See how well you've done. Well, let's talk about that elephant in the room. I've never done Mission Space. Roxy has. I assume you've done it, Grant.
I've done both versions.
I refuse to do that attraction. I would say skip it because it sounds like medieval torture.
I thought I was going to die.
Oh, no.
I've never felt that way on a ride before, ever in my life. I walked out of the ride and had to take a knee.
Oh, no.
Like,
And was this... Okay, because I heard there's 2 different versions.
Yes.
Like, is either one of them actually manageable, or are you going to be sick on both?
I did the lesser version because it was my first time ever on it. So, first of all, are either of you claustrophobic?
Not too bad.
Slightly.
Okay. Because my
Are you
friend...
scared of Santa Claus?
Yeah, my friend who went with me, who is claustrophobic, we got on the little ride vehicle thing. It closed, and she immediately almost had a panic attack and had to leave the ride. So she didn't even get past that part.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
I did, and I rode it, but I came out, and I legit, you guys, I had to lay down on the ground in Epcot because the world would not stop moving.
Oh, and I'm prone to motion sickness too, which Melissa can attest to. So I'm okay. I may take a hard pass on that one.
Let's just take a picture in front of it and move on.
There you go.
Well, I don't find it to be that bad.
Well,
okay, let me give you some context. I cannot look at my phone for more than 5 seconds in a car.
Do not go on this ride.
Getting
Okay,
ill.
then don't do it. But I keep telling James I'm going to take him on this ride.
there's nothing that will ever get me out of this ride because I am not sort of claustrophobic. I am 100% claustrophobic, and there's really nothing about the ride that I'm like that it sounds appealing to me. Essentially, it's simulating the feeling of 1,000,000 tons of pressure as you go up to space by spinning you around in a circle 100 miles an hour, however fast it is.
I am gonna say, the cool thing about this ride is you go on it, and each ride vehicle is 4 people, and you actually have a job to do. Each person has a job to do, so it is interactive. And I thought that part was super, super cool. But
it doesn't matter though. If you don't press the button, when they tell you to press the button, it doesn't change anything.
No, but
nothing
has
changed.
Like, it was fun to have something to do.
Yeah.
But no, F that ride.
James, James, I'll let you be the engineer. No, you'd be the commander.
I'll be the guy at home waving at you.
Or the guy holding everybody's bags.
Yeah, I don't do it. I'll there's a part of me that's like, I want to do every ride just to say I've done it, but there's nothing that's gonna get me, and I don't think that ride is gonna stand the test of time. I don't think it's gonna be there forever. So
no, apparently what it replaced though was a lot better from what I've heard. I never got to go on Horizons, but I heard that Horizons was awesome.
Yeah, that's like the Disney. That
was before my time.
Yeah.
If you are in Epcot and you're hungry and you don't want to eat around the world, which has some of the most amazing food, so you should. But the restaurant that's at the Nemo ride at the aquarium is really cool because A, it's got good food. It's a seafood restaurant. And B, you're eating in an aquarium. So you're literally eating these people's like cousins.
Oh my god.
Oh,
So
so good.
keep that in mind.
That's
in
fun.
front of them
In
as
front of
well.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's nothing like eating fish while a fish is staring at you.
Sadly.
A friend of mine got married years ago in Walt Disney World, and the reception was in that restaurant. And I don't know if this happens other times, but Mickey actually came swimming up to the window.
Whoa.
a scuba diving Mickey. So maybe that still happens there. I don't.
I haven't heard of that. I haven't heard of that in a long time. I'd love to see that.
I mean,
though.
that wedding was 10 years ago, so I don't know. But,
No, but go around the world, eat around the world. Okay, just eat around the world. Italy, both restaurants in Italy are like my mouth is watering thinking about it.
Norway has the best sandwich.
Paris has amazing pastries.
Oh, yeah, Paris is my wife's favorite, and I like Norway. So they're both can't go wrong with Norway and Paris.
wow, you guys are getting hit left and right here with food recommendations.
I know.
Are you taking it all in or what?
It's a lot.
Okay,
I think
all
this is
the
being
food.
recorded.
I don't know if James warned you guys or not, but like I mean I love Disney, I love rides, I love all that, but what I really love is food.
Churros.
Fair.
Like I really love food. So I can do whole shows on restaurants of Disney.
Right, but
Yeah.
that's not the focus of this one. It's worth bringing up briefly, but we're gonna get the attraction experience in. But Epcot is like they said is really a collection of eating for the most
It's the
part.
world's largest food court.
Yeah.
It is.
But while you're over there eating, another must do for me, which is probably going to be changed soon. There's rumors keep going back and forth on it, but I love it as is. Is the Grand Fiesta Tour with the Three Caballeros.
I like that one. I think it's super cute.
No, I love it. It's always a walk on, not very popular. And you're just going on a little boat ride. If you want that Blue Bayou experience, it's you go by what's the restaurant there? I don't remember.
The little Mexican. Yeah, I forget the name of it.
You know what
I've
I'm
never eaten there.
But yeah, so there's a restaurant right there. The food always smells great when you go by it, and it's taking a little boat ride through old Mexico with the Three Caballeros acting crazy all around you.
Yeah. And also, jot this down. It's inside and air conditioned.
Bam,
Ah,
bam.
Get out of the rain and air conditioning. Check.
The rumor, and it's just a rumor, so grain of salt. But the rumor is that they're gonna change it to a Coco attraction,
Ooh.
which
Okay.
Oh, that'd be so cute.
it would be cute, but I don't think I feel like it would be like it.
Nope,
like a
let it go,
Band-Aid.
James.
I can't. I don't know. It's just like I want a full. If there's gonna be a Coco attraction, I want like a full Coco experience, not like a layover kind of thing.
Well, I mean this ride itself was a layover though. It took over.
Right.
Originally, it was just the Grand Fiesta Tour. There were no Three Caballeros originally.
And you could see the contrast between what was originally there and the the forced
The
putting
screens that they added, yeah.
yeah, of the Three Caballeros. But it's still fun.
Oh yeah.
And
So is there? I'm trying to think if there's anything else in
Yes.
Epcot.
I've got
that's
more on my
like-
list here. We
Oh,
got
and there is a creepy part in the Grand Fiesta Tour with the Three Caballeros where they go searching for Donald, and they go to a restaurant and they get served duck.
Oh.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
I don't know what Epcot it has with cannibalism, but like
it's a recurring theme.
Yeah.
Well, I have a few more things on my list here that I think are worth doing. You cannot go to Epcot and not do the signature attraction, Spaceship Earth.
oh, of
Oh,
course.
but wait,
Mhm.
aren't they closing soon for like a 2-year refurb? I heard. Like, I'm nervous if
I
it's
have
closed when we
heard.
go.
I have heard there's a refurb coming. I don't know when that
Oh.
is. So
it's not coming in January though.
yeah,
They-
you would be
Oh,
able to look up
good.
the refurb schedule like right now for what's happening in a month.
and it's usually a relatively easy line to get onto. Like I wouldn't waste a fast pass on that. I would just walk for 20 minutes onto it. It's pretty quick. It's an Omnimover Haunted Mansion style.
The
Okay.
history
I
of
love it.
communication.
It's one of my favorite rides.
And it's the ride in the big golf ball.
The big Epcot ball.
Yeah.
And it's educational.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those rides. So the first time I went on it, I walked off of it and I was like, wow, I actually learned a lot on that ride. Like, it was one of those moments of like, just wow, I think I learned more on that ride than I did in school.
You're like,
There's
wow.
also a Fleetwood Mac
Disney.
poster in there.
Right?
Oh, Fleetwood Mac. I was going to say, keep your eye out for the disco Afro lady. That's my favorite.
Oh, I love
part
her.
of the ride. That's my favorite part of the ride right there.
She's rad.
Disco Afro lady. All right.
She's a
won't miss her.
scientist. She
Well, I
won't take
wasn't
no
going to go on the
sass.
ride before, but
do
now.
Oh, do it for sure.
Now.
Yeah, and I'm telling her boots. Okay, like she's adorable.
Yeah, that's where we're getting to the door right there.
You can tell she can kick your butt if she wanted to. Like, she has that look about her. Like, she could be a sweet thing, or she could take you down. So, like, she's like the Jackie Brown of Epcot.
Yeah, 100%.
The Jackie Brown of Epcot. I'm sure that's what they were going for. I don't even remember when this version of the ride opened up, like, because they've changed it several times, but I feel like whatever, I don't know. And it was the last thing here on my list here that I think is worth doing, even though it's the same ride system as a ride in California Adventure, is Test Track.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's worth doing because of the end. Now, the original Test Track was really cool because it was basically putting a car through the tests that they actually put cars through. So you would do all these things, and it was all very practical. Then for some reason, they decided to take all that stuff out and make believe that you're inside a computer, and now you're doing virtual tests. And that was a little underwhelming to me. But the end of the ride, where you actually do the speed test, is pretty thrilling. It goes way faster than the end of Radiator Springs Racers, but it's essentially the same ride system.
Yeah.
But you could design your own car, I guess, in the queue. I guess that's something. If that's something that's fun for you, I don't know.
Well, you skipped living with the land. Living the land.
Yeah, I
with the
did
land,
skip
would say
living with the land.
too.
I 100% skipped living with the land.
I don't hate living with the land, but if you are in a time crunch, it's probably one you can skip.
Okay.
Well, what you can see, though, are the fish that they raise for the restaurants at Disney.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of like a creepy little thing
And you
that
see
happens.
the plants that
Creepy
they
little
grow.
thing.
I don't know. I mean,
And
The
there is
cousins that you're eating?
Yeah.
there is a dark ride portion at the beginning of it where you go through scenes talking about like how the land was shaped
I
with
don't even
animatronic
remember. I don't
animals.
even remember that. It's been so long since I've been on that.
Yeah, the first 3 minutes are like solid dark ride.
I just remember
visuals.
looking at plants and like
Yeah, that's
crops,
It's also very educational.
and I was like, "Wow." I'm like, "Can we go back on Haunted Mansion, guys?"
Actually, there is one that we skipped. What about Figment?
My list.
Oh yeah.
My list isn't done. There's a lot there. No, I literally have two more things, and then we're gonna move on to Epcot. So, Figment is still there. It's a shell of its former self,
Really is.
and it's on a chopping. It's on the chopping block. It's probably gonna close soon, but at least you get to experience some sort of Figment. The original attraction from the '80s was incredible. They closed it in the late '90s, and they neutered it so bad, and so bad that they closed it, and then they changed the ride, took Figment out, and made it horrible. They closed it immediately again, and then shoehorned Figment back in, and so that's the ride that's there right now.
Yeah.
But
it's a Figment ride, and if you're a fan of the dragon, then you go on it.
yeah, I'd say it's worth, first time Epcot, you got to experience some kind of Figment.
There's never a line.
No, that's a walk on. And what there is always a line for, which I definitely think you should do because I was impressed by it, is Frozen Ever After, which is in Norway. I don't know how I feel about Frozen. I'm kind of neutral about it, but I think Olaf's funny. So Olaf was funny on the ride too, and it's I think it's pretty impressive for being a ride that they shoehorned into another space.
I have not been on the Frozen ride because I haven't been there since it opened, but I will say that when I go, it is going to be one of my first stops in Epcot because I really want to see it.
Well, it replaced a ride that was beloved by fans, Maelstrom.
Ye are not the first to pass this way.
And then we were the last. But, I mean, it definitely feels like, that's, they put a Frozen attraction in a space that wasn't designed for it. And because of that, the line's always super long, and it breaks down all the time, I hear from cast members. And things stop working. I don't know. But I went on it once, and I liked it. And I actually did the Anna and Elsa meet and greet right next to it, which ended up being a lot of fun because it wasn't like take your picture and get out of here. I felt like they both spent like a good couple of minutes, just chatting with me about whatever. I felt like I was hanging out with them as opposed to, take the picture and move on. Grant, you and your wife are character collectors. You like to take pictures of different characters. Do you find that at Walt Disney World they let you linger further than Disneyland?
Yeah, it depends on what you're doing. I will say, okay, kids, I want you to kind of leave the room for a second before I talk about this.
Yeah, all right.
All right, you guys are gone. Okay. So the Anna and Elsa area right there, there's like 6 or 7. There's like 4 to 8 different rooms with Anna and Elsa in them. Going
4 to 8.
Yes, if you see, the building is huge. There's multiple
I thought there was
rooms.
2.
There's multiple doorways with Anna and Elsa. If you look in there, you can see kind of how they do it. There's also kind of like. It's kind of like also on how, like at Mickey's house, on how there's 4 separate rooms that they can move the bookshelves with.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that, but there are multiple. There's a great deal of Anna and Elsa's at any given time. So
that is brilliant.
So what that allows
pretty
is
smart.
so because the thing is they're so popular that they can put them there, and then if for whatever reason, like let's say hypothetically they lost popularity, or let's say Frozen 2 has some great new characters that they decide to throw in, you can now use those other spaces for other characters. But then, it allows more than just say, oh, hi, how are you doing? Sign my book. Photoing not.
Right. I mean, that makes sense because I really felt like I was in that room with them. I mean, you meet them separately, so there's that. Where there was even it wasn't even together, but I felt I was in that room for like 10, 15 minutes. It was like a real experience. Like it wasn't. And they were on the ball when I met them too. Just improving the conversation with me.
Maybe they were trying to figure out what your angle was, like just you by yourself,
right?
So what is this guy doing here?
I mean, you would think that, but they didn't skip a beat.
All right. Well.
Yeah, Epcot's done.
There's one more. There's one more ride there.
Oh.
It's at the aquarium at the seas. They have a Finding Nemo clamshell omnimover ride.
Oh yeah, it's like our
Submarines,
mermaid.
yeah?
Yeah, it's very similar to Little Mermaid. Then you go through Finding Nemo.
Well, the ride vehicle is like Little Mermaid. That's what Roxy's saying. But what Melissa just said, that it is similar attraction to the sub ride at Disneyland. But the difference there is that it's part of that big aquarium.
It leads you into an aquarium.
The living seas. So it's all that stuff's being projected in a much larger actual habitat with fish, which I don't think there's actual fish in the waters in Disneyland. Yeah.
There's no fish in the submarine ride.
So you're actually seeing real fish swimming around the projections.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's kind of neat. It's not like a must do, but it's I would say do Living with the Land over this. I am a huge proponent of Living with the Land.
I argue. I would know. I don't ever want to go on Live with the Land ever again.
I would vote for Living Seas over Living with the Land.
You're not voting on this one because I'm like, I don't ever want to go on Living with the Land ever again in my life. I mean, even if I was bored, I'd much rather just sit around at a table at a counter service place than go on Living with the Land.
James, one day you and I were going to go on Living with the Land, followed by what is it? Mission Space. We're just gonna have a good old time and break a
It's gonna be James's worst day ever. All right, where are we going next?
We're going to Hollywood Studios. This is
okay.
This is probably one of the ones that Grant was going to say is where you could go and do your resort experience.
Yeah, I was going to say, dude, this is by far your resort.
There's not a lot open. But that being said, this is one of my favorite places of Walt Disney World. I wish I had way more attractions,
guys,
but I love it.
This is my favorite park.
I love it. And the thing that I mostly love about it is, of course, the theming in the front of the park, which is, the old Hollywood that never was. It's a lot of fun. I mean, you'll see some similarities to some of the theming in DCA there.
Not much.
Just a little bit, especially since Buena Vista Street popped on the scene.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of similarities, but it's I love it here. And let me tell you why. Well, before I tell you why, I'm going to tell you things that you need to skip as a Disneyland local. First thing off the bat, you're going to be tempted, but I'm going to tell you, just walk away, as you do not need to go on Star Tours. It is literally the same exact thing. Okay. You're going to be tempted because you're going to see the awesome exterior with the huge, AT-AT out there.
Yeah.
Take a photo of the outside.
Just take pictures with AT&T.
Yeah. Got it. Take pictures, check out the Ewok Village, and then walk away.
Ewok Village.
They have a little bit of Ewok Village out there, and I'll just briefly mention the thing that's also kind of weird is the original Hollywood Studios, which was MGM Disney Studios. It was all about supposed to be behind the scenes of movie making. And Star Tours kind of kept with that theme. So you'd have this awesome exterior, like, oh, I'm walking into Star Wars. This is so cool. And then as soon as you get into the building, there's like a chair that says C-3PO, like he's a star of the movie. And behind the scenes of a movie, and it immediately takes you out of the
I've never noticed that. That's weird.
You never noticed that? Oh, I hate it. It immediately takes you out of the whole thing.
No, what I hate is when you're going through the Ewok forest, and then you go behind the AT-AT, and then you see the backside of the AT-AT, and it's just like a scrim. Like you can see the backside of the tree, and it's basically showing you a prop is this is a prop,
right? That was the point.
That was the point of the original park, yeah.
That was totally the point. At this point, they need to change that because it doesn't mesh anymore. But when it was MGM Studios, the whole theme was behind the scenes, so that made perfect sense then.
Right? No, it worked then.
Let's be Universal.
Right. But the other thing that's really weird is that I'll really get you to not go on this ride is that from this, in Disneyland, you're waiting to board and there's the bridge between the vehicles.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that bridge isn't there. What's there is the door opens and a completely unthemed office building, blue walls, carpeted hallway is between you and the ride vehicles.
What the heck?
It is so bizarre. Because of the Disneyland version, especially when I was a kid when the ride opened, I thought I was walking over this bridge over this infinite thing that if I fell down there I'd fall to my death. My imagination just ran away with me based on watching the movies. And this one you're just like, oh well, it's time to get check up at the dentist here. Let's go walk into this room. So stay away from Star Tours. The ride
it's also
itself,
strange.
Go
on, sorry.
I said the ride's the same as Disneyland.
What's also strange is that they've lost all production. There's no filming that happens at that place at all anymore. So the whole behind the scenes of movies thing, it's like a really weird, like after effect that you see there now.
Yeah, it does not. It is not cohesive at all.
So yeah, I'm sure they're slowly phasing that out, especially with the new things they're bringing in. So we'll see it phase out, but that's just one of the remnants of it. The other thing you're going to skip is Toy Story Mania. It's literally the same exact thing and one of the most popular rides in the park always. So it's a huge wait. It would be a complete waste of time to wait try to go on that ride. And the other thing is to skip is Fantasmic. You may be tempted to watch it because it has its own arena space, but the Disneyland version is better, especially since they've updated it.
So much better.
Hold on. My argument for Fantasmic though is, are either of you two Pocahontas fans?
Yes. Yeah, kind of.
If you are a Pocahontas fan, that was built when they were getting ready for Pocahontas to be a big thing,
and they haven't changed.
And
it
there's a whole like 5-minute sequence of nothing but Pocahontas, like with live actors climbing a mountain, and there is a battle sequence between the natives and the explorers, centered around Pocahontas.
Come on, man.
No.
If they have the time.
But they're not going to have the time because
evening will probably be resort time. We're thinking maybe.
No, there's something you need to see at night in this park. So so we'll get to your resort hopping thing in a second, but there's something way better to see at night than that.
We can see both,
I guess, but but we're not at night yet. The number one thing that you must do when you go to Hollywood Studios, no excuses, I don't care, is you must 100% go on Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror.
Absolutely not.
Awesome.
You say absolutely not?
Absolutely not.
Tanisha does not do that ride.
I hate drops. I hate the sensation of falling. So I will go with Melissa through the queue, and I take the emergency last exit right at the end.
There are no drops on Tower of Terror.
Well, all right.
All right.
Well, independent of that, I mean, maybe we'll convince you. I just wanted to say that for Disneyland people, they may not know this. Obviously, the Tower of Terror is not there anymore, so there's that. But the one that was originally built in Orlando is the full experience. The one that was at DCA is the half-ass experience. Because
the one in Orlando is a dark ride.
There's dark ride elements.
Yeah.
There's no dark ride elements in the DCA one. And the ride sequence, there's 12 different ride sequences as opposed to the one in DCA, which was the same ride sequence every time. So it's random what you're gonna get. No,
I would say push yourself and try it. Like, it'll be over in 2 minutes.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Nope. Okay.
Okay.
But you're going, Melissa. You're going, right?
Heck yeah.
Okay.
I'll go through the queue, and then I'll let you know how the queue experience is.
I mean, the queue's kind of the same, but
the queue's basically the same. But what you can do while she's on that ride is you could go get in line right next door at Rock and Roller Coaster.
Absolutely not.
Wait. Roxy, you put Rock and Roller Coaster on your must-do list?
Yes.
That's not on my must-do list at all.
I love that ride.
Really?
No.
You like Steven Tyler?
I don't.
I don't even care about Aerosmith. Like, the beginning of the ride, I don't. Yeah,
the launch is awesome, but it's the same experience at the Incredicoaster. Like, it's way awesomer theming. California Screaming and Rock and Roller Coaster is the same thing practically.
There's
true.
more loops with Rock and Roller Coaster.
But yeah, Rock and Roller Coaster is more loops. I really like it as a ride. I really liked Rock and Roller Coaster. It is one of my must-dos in Hollywood Studios.
Well, Hollywood Studios only has like 6 things, so I mean, there's only a few must-dos.
So I love Rock and Roller Coaster. It's absolutely on my list. But my Hollywood Studios is my favorite park, not because of the rides, but because of the food.
Oh, now
Sorry.
you're talking my language.
Hollywood Studios has my favorite restaurants of any park. Okay, I could literally just eat my way through the park and I would be happy.
So while Melissa's riding thrill rides that I will not get on, I will be eating.
Okay, so check this out. Primetime Cafe is so cute. It's like eating in a 50s kitchen, and the waitresses are like your mom, okay? They'll tell you to take your elbows off the table and have you washed your hands and the whole thing, and it is super cute.
Awesome.
Sci-Fi Diner is you eat in a car at a drive-in, and it plays like old classic like horror and sci-fi movie trailers.
Yeah, and I was going to bring that up on my list of things for sure. And you have, and I will say, get a reservation for that place.
We do have one.
Yes.
You're ahead of the game.
Okay, so you're good.
The Brown Derby is super, super good if you want to spend a lot of money.
It's like, how many meals are going to have in one day?
You know what? Don't judge me, James. Okay.
They are vacation calories. They don't count.
I have eaten at all of these places in the same day.
All right.
Okay. So also back in the back of the park, there's like it goes very much goes with the behind the scenes of the studio thing. It's a cafeteria.
I don't think that's there anywhere.
Oh, no.
No, it is the ABC commissary.
Okay, yeah, the ABC commissary
Oh,
is
okay.
there.
I thought you were talking about the other place that was
You're
near the
thinking
studio
about Pizza
tour.
Rizzo.
No, I thought you were
Nope.
talking about this place that was near the studio tour. That's not there anymore.
No, there's I don't. Well, now I don't know. Now you got me all confused.
The
But
ABC commissary is still there.
Okay,
That's
well,
adjacent to
in-
the Sci-Fi Dine-In, the ABC commissary.
Yeah, in the ABC commissary, they used to. I don't know if they do it anymore, but they used to serve like their specials were always Walt's favorite meals. And that was really cool because you could go in and get, and he
Like
ate
pork
some
and
really
beans?
weird stuff. Yeah.
Like pork and beans, that
but
was his favorite.
Yeah, beans, or green jello. He loved green jello, like liver. It was just it was very, very, of the times, and I always thought that was really, really cool to go and do that.
That's weird that
I
that was
haven't
at
seen
ABC
that on the
commissary.
menu. I've never seen that on the menu.
Really?
Because ABC commissary was when it opened was themed to soap operas. That's weird that they would have the Walt food.
Yeah, now it's all just like burgers and stuff like that. Just standard theme
Oh,
park fare.
don't go there. Let's see. I think those are the top ones, though.
Well, I don't think there's many
yeah.
more places to eat there. I mean,
Oh,
what else is
hold
there?
on. You can do Minnie's Hollywood and Dine and meet the characters. And if you go in the morning, you can get you can meet Doc McStuffins and Vampirina, who is a little girl vampire.
She's
Yeah,
adorable.
I've been seeing her float around. I don't know who that one is.
Yeah,
Must be
but
from
I'm telling you, okay. Primetime, Sci-Fi, and Brown Derby are all amazing places to eat, and you really can do them all in one day. I promise.
Well,
I'll try.
all right. So moving on from the eating tour of Hollywood Studios, the other must-do is to, of course, visit their brand new land, Toy Story Land, and ride its signature attraction, Slinky Dog Dash, which was surprisingly a lot more thrilling than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be, for Disneyland people, similar to Gadget's Go Coaster. And
Right.
it's
The Barnstormer, yeah.
and well, they don't know Barnstormer, Grant. They're
No.
that's
He's giving us references where we
yeah, point of reference. but yeah, I did think it was gonna be like Barnstormer as well. But it is actually I don't know. I think it's like kind of at Big Thunder Mountain-ish. What would you say, Grant, as being the only person that's been on it?
I would say it's oh my god. Okay, it's hard for me because the Florida part of me wants to say it's what would be like in between Mine Train and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, but for me, I would say it's between Gadget's Go Coaster and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad as far as the thrill level.
So yeah,
It'd be like that, right?
More thrilling.
Big Thunder, I would say, is more thrilling. I think that this one actually has a lower height requirement than Big Thunder, so I think that this is designed to be like that gap roller coaster.
Yeah, it kind of fits a need for that height requirement, I guess, that there was not another in between coaster. But it was a lot of fun, and it is a lot of fun to just be in Toy Story Land and be shrunk down to the size of a toy. Kind of replaces an old attraction that used to be at Hollywood Studios, which was the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids play area, where you felt when you were super small as well. So I guess that ties in with the history of the park. But
I really liked that play area.
so yeah,
Just for the record.
So now now it lives on in Toy Story Land. And I would say probably skip the other ride. I didn't go on it, but the
alien swirling aliens spinning saucers.
Yeah, I say skip it because the land is brand new. Like, both rides have super long waits, and I think it's basically Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. I think it's literally the same thing. There you go. So, there's that. So the other thing I was going to bring up, which to me, I know that there's some love for Star Wars amongst you guys, that there is some Star Wars things to do that are enjoyable that aren't Star Tours in that park. Number one thing, which is what you should do at night. So even if you leave the park and come back, which you can do because there are resorts that you could take water taxis to from Hollywood Studio that you could.
You can walk there. I've walked there in 10 minutes.
Or you can walk there. I don't know. But why would you want to take a water taxi? It's fun.
I love the boat.
Yeah. But is the Star Wars Galactic Spectacular show. It is a projection and laser fireworks combined show. And when I saw it last year, it completely blew me away. Like, I was like, oh, I'll check this out. I don't really get too worked up about nighttime projection shows, but I was like, I almost brought a tear to my eye. Like, I was like, this is incredible, And I would say, as a Star Wars fan, that is a must do thing. Have you seen that, Grant?
Oh yeah, that's the best fireworks show at any of the parks.
Where do you guys recommend standing, I guess, for that show?
In Hollywood Studios.
We'll put it pretty much anywhere.
Anywhere?
You'll see an area. Just make sure that you're avoiding any of the trees. You'll see like an area where everybody's just kind of camping out. And what's kind of neat, and this is going back, if you chose to see Fantasmic, the fireworks start about 15 minutes after Fantasmic ends. So, like, there's a crowd of people that will just kind of stand there, and you'll have good viewing.
Oh.
Yeah, I will say that I went to watch the show like minutes before it started, so I didn't have like what you would consider to be optimal viewing, and I enjoyed it just fine. The area that it's being shown on is so wide; it's essentially being projected onto the Chinese theater and the buildings around it. So it's such a huge space that pretty much anywhere I think is a good spot, except if there are trees in your way, like Grant said. Yeah, it was. I would just say make sure that's a priority on the list. And if Grant thinks it's the best fireworks show at the whole resort,
yeah, out of all of them, yeah, for sure.
So that one's cool. And
I would also say the Indiana Jones show is worth doing.
Really? That wasn't on my list.
Have you ever seen it?
Have I seen it? Yeah, I've seen it. It's been the
They
same
still
show.
do that show?
Yeah, it's literally the same show from opening day. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you've never seen it, it would be worth doing.
I guess I haven't had any desire to watch that show.
Are
in
you
10
two?
years.
Are you two Full House fans?
Yeah.
Really?
Full
I'm
House.
not.
The episode where they go to Disney World, they watch that show, so you can see that show.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God! There's so many. There's been so many things that have shown that show on TV. You go to Full House.
All right. Well, so if are we done with our day at Hollywood Studios?
I just have one last thing to mention.
Okay.
And it's the Walt Disney I forget the full name of it, but essentially it's It is a mini museum of Walt Disney memorabilia. One Man's Dream, that's what it's called. And I'm pretty sure that that's going to be taken out of the park soon because they keep making it shorter and shorter. But I think it's a lot of fun. And adjacent to that are meet and greets. I don't think they're there anymore, but last time I did it, went through One Man's Dream, that's where the Baby Groot meet and greet was. I'm sure that's not there anymore. But, how could I forget? At Star Wars Launch Bay, it's essentially the same thing as Disneyland, except you can meet BB-8. So there's that. And I will say meeting BB-8 was a lot of fun because the cast member seems to understand what he's saying and translates it to you. And he says some pretty ridiculous things. So now we're done. We're done with Hollywood Studios.
Okay, so now is the time when you want to get on the water taxi and take it over to
The boardwalk?
the hotels, probably to the boardwalk. But from Hollywood Studios, you can go to the Boardwalk Hotel, check out the boardwalk, and see the Yacht and Beach Club, which is one of my favorite hotels to stay at. And it's all right there on the water, super easy.
It's also walking adjacent to Epcot as well, if you have time
Yeah.
today.
I would actually suggest doing that like at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon when you've done all your activities and you're just waiting for the fireworks. That's a great time to do your hotels and see the different resorts, and then go back for the fireworks.
Okay.
Good tip. And at the boardwalk, that's something I was going to bring up. Is that I don't know what time they open because I have gone there and they were closed. But there's a bar there that I love that's opened a few years ago called the Abracadab Bar. It's a very small space. Could probably fit 30 people in there max. And it's a magic themed bar. So there's tons of old school magic memorabilia and props all around the place, but the drinks themselves are magic.
Only one is currently.
Only one? Oh, well, the one, what was it called? It
was a margarita the
Disappear
magical margarita.
The Disappear-rita or something. But
yeah.
It's essentially
the color changerita or something like that.
I loved it so much. They pour it and then they put it in a mixer and then he says, abracadabra, and he pours it again. It's a different color. If that's not worth going for, I don't know. They also have a drink called the Pepper's Ghost, which of course, we gotta love Pepper's Ghost. So, that. They don't have any food there, I don't think. It's really just a bar. But
I think they have some pretzels and stuff like that.
Yeah, so if you want to take the edge off in a magic themed bar, check out the Abracadab Bar.
But if you somehow got to Hollywood Studios at 10, I'm legitimately convinced, especially being that you're going on a weekday, that you will have worked your way, especially if you book some fast passes, you'll have booked your way through this by 2 p.m. And that is the time to do all your resort hopping and then just show up later for the fireworks. Take the buses over to the different resorts and just kind of enjoy it and then just show up for the fireworks.
That sounds like a plan.
Also, you can eat and then go walk around the resorts and burn that off and then go back to Hollywood Studios and eat some more. Just saying.
Oh, man.
Only the pro tips here.
Yeah, top level tips here.
Speaking of eating, at Yacht and Beach Club, I think it's at Beach Club, there's an ice cream place.
Yep.
And it's really good. And it's worth checking. It's super cute. What's it called, Grant?
Oh God, I just think it's called Yacht and Beach Club ice cream thing. I'm trying to think of the name of it.
Is there a place called Peaches and Cream? Or
Beaches and Cream.
Beaches and Cream. That's
right. And order the kitchen sink.
Yeah, I'd order the kitchen sink. I'm sure. Definitely.
So yeah, if you're walking around, you get a little, need a little snack while you're over there. Beaches and Cream.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right, are we ready to go to our last day?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to Disney's Animal Kingdom. And there's not like, there's not any duplicates here. There used to be. It's tough to be a bug in DCA, but that's now gone, and that's here. So there's no other duplicate rides here. So there's none immediate skips. I would say there's tons of things that you could skip because they're not as awesome as the things I'm going to mention. But there might be some debate on that.
Oh, yeah.
It would be exciting if there wasn't debate.
Look, let's just stop with the start with the absolute top tier must do. If you like roller coasters, you have to do Everest.
No, they don't even say if you like roller coasters. It's like, you just have to do Expedition Everest. That is.
I would say I don't like roller coasters, but I am definitely planning to do Everest.
Yeah.
So.
Everest is.
Yeah, it's great.
Do Everest.
Now it's the number 2 attraction there, but before the one opened, which I'll mention soon, it turned into the only reason I went to Animal Kingdom for years. I would literally go there and go on that ride and then leave. I've done several trips where that's happened. So I feel very strongly about it. It's one of the best coaster experiences you can have, but what happens in the attraction is so much fun. And even though the Yeti is not, working in full capacity, it's still such a fun thing. It's a perfect evolution of the Matterhorn. I mean, I wish the Matterhorn was as awesome as Expedition Everest.
As not as painful as Expedition Everest?
It's not painful at all.
It's not.
There's nothing painful about Expedition Everest. It is a lot of fun. It is a must do for. I can't.
Yeah, literally, James is right. If you do one thing in Animal Kingdom, okay, wait, hold on. Let me rewind. I have not been to, what is it, Pandora?
Yes.
Okay. So previous to that, because I have no opinions or sayings on that, if you only do one thing in Animal Kingdom, it's got to be Everest.
And that used to be true, but we do have to stop by Pandora here and talk about the new attractions that are there. So, independent of your feelings towards the film, whether you love it, you hate it, I don't know. I thought it was okay.
I loved it visually.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun movie. I don't know. Some people hate it. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's not like you're going there because you love the the IP. I don't know anyone that really loves the IP, but
James Cameron does.
He sure does. That's why he's making 4 more movies.
He's already wrapped. He's already wrapped. No, he's a wrap production on him.
He's wrapped production? No way.
He shot the last scene. Now they're all in post CGI. They shot all 4 of these at once, and he apparently has filmed the last scene. And this was a few weeks ago with a live actor in it.
Well, leave it to Grant to give us that up to the minute info on the Pandora sequels. Well, we can't wait. We can't wait for the 6 years of post production for.
We've forgotten about the movie.
Basically, Fern Gully 2 or Dances with Wolves 2 or Pocahontas 2. They're all the same story.
Basically.
So independent of all that, there's a ride there called Flight of Passage, which is the best simulator ride I've ever been on in my life. It's an incredible sensation. It is definitely, that is the must do of that park. If you only do one thing there, even over Everest, that is quite an experience to ride Flight of Passage. It is. I can't even compare it to any other ride that exists. I don't know. Can you, Grant?
Man, if you combined Soarin' over California, or Soarin' over the world with the Pony Express at Knott's Berry Farm, that's maybe what you would get.
That sounds so random.
I'm going to assume that You hadn't ridden Pony Express. You girls have ridden Pony Express, but
Oh no, I have been on that.
you have? Oh, okay. So,
I have, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's just because the ride vehicle's a horse. That's why he's saying that. But it's
the way you see.
Yeah, but it's much more than Soarin'. I've heard people call it Soarin' on crack. I've literally heard someone describe it as that. But it's like this. The sensation's a lot more intimate than Soarin', and it really, I don't know. It's just one of those things like just write it. You can't really describe the feeling of it. All I know is that when the ride was over the first time, as soon as it ended, my immediate response was, "Again, do it again, more." So yeah, the other attraction there, Navi River Adventure. Has a very impressive animatronic in it, so it's worth checking out, but it is very short. So
it's a pass for me on that one.
You're going to pass it completely. You don't think it's worth checking out even once.
Depending on what the wait time is like on that.
I think it's worth checking out once.
I wouldn't wait longer than 45 minutes for it.
Well, I wouldn't either.
Okay, there you go.
That's me.
I'm just saying, if it's a super heavy day in the park, I wouldn't wait any longer than 45 minutes for it because it basically starts as it's ending. Like the ride kind of feels like it's starting as it's time to exit off.
Yeah, it's very short. You're like, all right, the ride's getting going, and then you're like, all right, time to get off. Very cool. The last ride that's on my must list, and then I'm gonna hand it over to you two because I'm sure you're gonna have different things to say than me. Is Dinosaur. And
I love Dinosaur.
Yep.
It is
creepy as heck.
What?
It is creepy as all heck.
It's very creepy. It can be pretty intense. A lot of it is in pitch blackness, and then dinosaurs come out of thin air to attack you.
And they're dinosaurs that have not been updated, I think, much since it opened. So they're kind of like the animation is not the best, which makes it even creepier.
Yeah, they're like it's like kind of like they're stoned.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Dinosaur is a must do for me.
It's the exact same track layout as Indiana Jones.
But what's the difference with this one is you can't see a lot of what's going on in there. Indiana Jones, you see everything.
Yeah, but you have dinosaurs and Gary Sinise.
Mm.
Gary
No,
Sinise.
there's no Gary Sinise. Gary Sinise was on Mission Space.
Oh, that's
And he
right.
got removed.
Oh no, this one's the other guy from CSI.
Yeah.
That's right.
I don't know.
Either way, you have a CSI tie-in.
And what you really have, which here's a little Easter egg to look out for when you're in the queue. There's a part where you're walking through. It looks like kind of like a museum, and there's a big, skeleton of a T-Rex or something in there. It looks like you're in a museum. It looks all classy. And running up onto the walls looks like huge gobs of ketchup and mustard running along the side of the wall.
Oh. Okay.
And mayonnaise as well.
And mayonnaise, yes. And that is because at one point McDonald's sponsored the attraction.
And they didn't take it out?
No.
No.
They took away the McDonald's branding, but that ketchup, mayonnaise, and mustard going along the walls.
Oh, and there's even there's even chemical formulas for ketchup, mustard, and mayo. Like there's some sort of thing that, like, if you were to solve the puzzle, it would say mayonnaise or say mustard or ketchup if you were like a super geek and figured it out.
Oh, wow.
All right. Well, kids, it's been fun, but I gotta go.
All right.
I'm sorry. I have to cut this short.
Oh, okay. Well, it's your turn this time then, Roxy.
No.
Because last time I did the show with you, I had to bone out early.
Yep. But no, as far as Animal Kingdom goes, Everest and Dinosaur are the two that I have to do. I haven't been to Pandora, so I don't know that one. If you have the time and if you want to do it, I like the safari.
We're going to get into that.
I think it's fun, and it's a good time to just kind of sit and chill. I love it when my feet hurt, okay? And also, I think the Nemo show is really, really cute. So.
Well, thank you,
But that
Roxy, for chiming in with your 2 cents.
Yeah, that is very much if you have time to kill, okay? Like,
I believe that.
so, yeah.
All right,
Thank
bye,
you,
Roxy.
Roxy.
Thanks,
Have
Roxy.
fun on your trip. I can't wait to hear all about it.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So, Grant, is there something
Yes.
that you would include here, or let's talk about the safari, because I'm sure
Okay, the
'cause
safari is one of my favorite attractions.
It is. That's what I figured.
Okay,
So-
well, I have to say, too, you have to remember we're from San Diego and we have the Wild Animal Park here.
Yes.
So would it be worth our time? I don't know.
Do you have an annual pass for the safari park?
No. It's a one and done.
So it's this, I would say, absolutely, because it was the original thesis attraction of Animal Kingdom. It was it's kind of like their Spaceship Earth. It's what like they built the whole park around was this attraction. And it's long, and you get to go through so many different you get to see a ton of different animals. And
Maybe.
I have never okay. I have never gone on there and not seen anything, except the one time that I didn't see much of anything was when they were doing like the dusk safari before it was nighttime. Like they were still trying to figure out how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You see so many animals on this thing, and like last time we went on, we had a giraffe that blocked the road for 10 minutes, and he knew that if he blocked the road, some guy was going to come out with treats for him to get him away from the road. And then we rounded the corner, and that giraffe was back there again, knowing like he had it down. It's long. There are some fun thrill elements to it. I mean, like the thing is like these parks don't have that. This one in Hollywood Studios, even with Pandora, don't have that much to do. So it's like, I don't see how, if you were there for the whole day, how you couldn't go on it, even on a heavy day.
Well, yeah, if you're going to really stay there the whole day, yeah, of course.
I mean, there's only one attraction that I would not go on, and I would tell people just avoid it. Well, there's two. But I mean, that's actually one of the, that's in my top 3 attractions there. That actually beats Dinosaur for me.
Oh, okay.
And it just depends. I think it depends how much you like animals.
I think for me, like, it's been a point of contention, and actually, it's funny. One of our pals, Danielle, it was a former safari driver, and that's actually how we became friends, because I was talking crap about the safari on the show, and then she emailed in to contest what I said, and then we actually brought her on the show to speak her piece. It's kind of like I think I've been on it 3 times, and most of the time there has not been that many animals out, and I think after a while I just kind of like. I'm just like, all right, like, can we do something else? But the ride's so long, they're just like, they pitched this ride to be like, the animals are all in your face, and they never are for me. And I've only been 3 times, but I guess that's kind of the grab bag of this experience, is that you never know what you're gonna get.
With live animals, yeah, it's kind of hard to. I mean, you're not going to get everything in your face. I mean, the lion is just going to hang out where the lion hangs out,
Yeah, and of course the lion's not going to come near there because they have a pit between you and the vehicle. But to answer her question, I mean, do you think that she should still do it even though she's experienced one, in her home?
Well, I've only done the one, the San Diego Wild Animal Park. The last time I did that, I was like a sophomore in high school. So that was, oh my God, that was 20 years ago. Oh my God. Okay. I'm dating myself. It's like weird when I say that kind of stuff. It's been more than 20 years since I was a sophomore in high school. So, but okay, well, would you say, hey, well, you have a Disneyland over by you. You have a Disney park near you. So I guess you shouldn't go to a Disney park over here because you have a Disney park by you. That to me, that's the same mentality.
Gotcha.
They're not all going to be the same. This one, from what I remember, the one in San Diego was built more as a kind of like the studio tram experience at Universal, whereas this one is more like you go through like some water and some mud, and there's a bridge that may or may not collapse on you depending as to what working order it's in, and that's very nice.
Well, it doesn't really collapse. It's a fake collapse. I guess that's the thing I want to point up here is I never got to experience the original version of the attraction, which was there was a fake story added where you were hunting for or trying to stop poachers from killing an animal. So there was like a story element to it and all that. And now that's all completely wiped from the ride. And I feel like if that was still there, that would keep the entertainment value up for me. but I guess I feel like we're just talking in circles right now. So
okay, James says don't do it. I say absolutely do it.
Well, we'll probably obviously there's not that many attractions, so like we'll probably have like a bunch of time and we'll be like, let's just go. Why not?
We all know in your heart of hearts, just do it. And you're gonna go. You know what? Grant was 100. They're gonna put a post in the Creepy Kingdom page and say, Grant was right, James was wrong, and that's the end of this.
Well, just listeners know we are going to have the ladies back on the show to hear about their trip. So, of course, just so they could just spend a few hours telling us how right we were about everything.
Oh,
I won't regret going on Pirates, James. I don't care.
You will.
How bad it
James,
is.
James, I love self-congratulations. It's awesome.
And also what I want to do, I think I told Melissa this, is that I'm going to give her the login to the Instagram so that she could document on Instagram stories the trip.
Oh, fun.
So I think there's
gonna see our reactions in real time.
So real time, yeah. So everyone can follow along at home when this trip actually goes down. Be careful about your safety. You don't tell people where you're going to be before you're there. Don't be like, all right,
hardcore stalkers in the Creepy Kingdom I should know about, or.
Well, I mean, not that I'm aware of, but Instagram is public.
Now there may there's two more I guess rides. I know that you're not supposed to use the phrase rides with Disney because everything's an attraction, but two more rides. The Kilimanjaro Safaris not the Kilimanjaro. The Kali River Rapids is the biggest waste of space that they have.
Well, that's just like Grizzly Mountain Peak.
River Run.
No, Grizzly River Run. We just did Grizzly River Run, and that has a lot of drops and a lot of rapids, and it's super thrilling. This one has very nice theming, like you go through like a burning forest, and it's like a 3-minute water ride with one drop and very little rapids, and it's more like a boat ride for most of it.
Oh, okay.
So that's my worst ride, and there's also something called Primeval Whirl, which is basically like a wild mouse spinning coaster in the dinosaur area, and that can be skipped. I'm sorry. What are you saying? It strangely has like the highest height requirement in all of Magic Kingdom or all of Disney World. They have this little spinning roller coaster has the highest height requirement.
This area that he's talking about, I wanted to point out. We breezed over it. It's called Dino Land USA, and the theme of Dino Land USA is that when the dinosaur place opened up and they were able to travel back to the time of dinosaurs, that a bunch of tourist attractions opened up around it, and a cheap carnival themed to dinosaurs opened up right outside of it. So it's essentially a bunch of crappy carnival rides.
Oh dear.
But they have this ride, Primeval Whirl, which is a playoff of Primeval World, the part of from the World's Fair that's now on the Disneyland Railroad. So I guess that's a tribute there. But that ride, it has the most injuries of all of Walt Disney World.
Oh my gosh!
I didn't know that.
Okay. I would just skip doing anything in Dino Land USA.
Well, except for Dinosaur the ride.
Oh wait, no. No, Dino Land USA is the whole area. What's the name of the ride just with the carnival? It's like Hester and Lester's
Dinorama, yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
what it is, yeah.
but currently Donald Duck has taken over it, and it's Donald's Dino Bash. And you can meet Launchpad McQuack and Chip and Dale dressed as dinosaurs.
So that carnival is taken over as Donald's Dino Bash.
Donald's Dino Bash, and but it's sold Chester and Hester. But Donald Duck is visiting it, celebrating the fact that he learned that his ancestor, or that he is descended from dinosaurs, and it's super weird. But it was basically, I will say, it brought people over to that side of the park, and at least they're doing something there. But yeah, I mean,
it's funny. I didn't realize. I don't think that I even walked in that area my last trip, so I didn't even see any of that.
And I'll say, what else is there? Like Tough to Be a Bug, but if you've done it in California, it's the same show. It's just a matter of.
Well, it's gone from California, and it's one of the most amazing attractions of all time because I love it. I don't know what you guys think of it, but
yeah, I got a chance to see it. I thought it was pretty awesome.
You know, I never got to experience.
They
that
never
at all.
advertised it.
Shame on me.
Well, then
I
didn't know it was there.
Nobody knew it was there. Like I always thought it was only at Disney World, and then one day I just was randomly wandering in Bugs Land, and I happened to stumble across like the entrance to it, and I was like, "Ooh, what's in here?" And then I was like, "I had no idea we had this show."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of buried there. Well, I will say, Melissa, if you've never done it before, 100% do it because I love it because it is. I mean, I've done whole episodes on it. I'm just like, they use all these awesome gags that were used in like old like sci-fi horror movies in the 50s and 60s, so, like theater gags, and it's the vibe in there. The vibe in there is like this weird split between pure joy and laughter and absolute terror and screaming.
It's so true.
It's incredible. It's an incredible vibe. Like just like because the ride gets, it's not a ride, it's a show, whatever. It gets so dark and scary, and like out of nowhere.
It's so misleading for little kids too. I always felt like really bad for little kids because it starts off like, oh yay, and then it's like, oh dear God.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's like you hear the terror and you hear the cries and you're like, thank you. I love this.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like you hear like people kids screaming, and then other kids are laughing, and it's like there's no other attraction that elicits that kind of response, like anywhere really. Such a fun mix. But
I will also state that Rivers of Light there is the biggest dumpster fire out there. Do not waste your time with it. It is horrible. It is a waste of time and energy. You could be going on the safari again or doing Pandora again. Do not bother with Rivers of Light.
All right. Well, as we round out this epically long episode, there is one last thing I want to say. I don't know too much about this area. Grant's going to be able to chime a little more as it's been remodeled and revamped. But there's the Disney Springs area, and there's one place I think is always worth checking out. It is Jacques Lindsay's Hangar Bar.
Absolutely.
They do have food there. It's more like bar finger food type stuff, but it is loosely tied into with Indiana Jones, but that's not what makes it cool. It's just it looks like a very aged, lived-in space. Lots of knickknacks and artifacts all over the place. It is very cool. They have a cool drink menu. A lot of fun. One place I'd say you could skip that you might think you need to go to because it's kind of a pain to even get to, and you'll be so disappointed when you get there, is their version of Trader Sam's. Because
Really?
Oh, okay.
And I say this.
No, I love it there.
Well, I don't. Well, I'll say this. If you can get there and it's easy and you're there, it's fine, and you're actually in there, it's okay. I just think the experience at Disneyland is far superior. For number one, theirs is like it's in the lobby of one of the Polynesian hotel, and there's no like awesome exterior that makes you feel like you're actually going to like a place. In fact, the hallway leading up to it is kind of it looks like that dentist hallway.
Okay, yeah, you are right on
it's
that one.
It's completely unthemed, whatever. It's also like it's just as small as the other one, so it's really hard to get into, and their outdoor area is like not connected to the actual bar. It's like around the corner. So it's like you're not even getting that like awesome outdoor experience you get at Disneyland. And I don't know, I felt like somebody set up Trader Sam's in their basement. That's what I felt like was in there, like because the Disneyland version's so awesome. It really feels like this is a place that you've stumbled upon and that's been there forever, even though obviously, I've been there when it wasn't there at all, so it's, I don't think it's worth going to. Why do you think that it's worth going to, Grant, if you have the Disneyland version?
No, my main reason for that is we have every single cup that they've released. So I'm very thankful that I don't have to pay high prices on eBay. And sure. I can just, that's why. It's like I can go over there and grab a drink and then grab the mug. I'm staring at my wall of mugs right now of all these, and I probably have.
Honestly, that is the reason why I want to go there, because I'm really into tiki bars, so...
Well, I would think that you could probably find a way more awesome tiki bar like off property than Trader Sam's tiki bar, in all honesty. But if you could get there, I always thought it was a pain to get to too, like just to get to that point in the Polynesian, especially without a car. So
yeah, well, you can monorail it maybe from Epcot or something if you wanted to.
Yeah,
resort or rail. You can either resort or rail between Epcot or Magic Kingdom there. That'll drop you off there.
Well, yeah, I think there's better tiki bar experiences, but there's still some cool stuff in there. I'm not going to say it's like the worst place on earth. I went there shortly after it opened, and I had the experience I told you. I was kind of really underwhelmed. And there's another time that I tried to go there, and I just, like, with people, we were trying to find a place to have some drinks after being in the park. And, they wouldn't let us in, and they were closing, like, super early. Like, it was like they were closing, like, 11 o'clock or something. Like, it was like, why not have it open later after the park's closed? But, so it just really rubs me the wrong way, I'll be honest with you. I'd much rather be at Disneyland than the
the Disneyland one is better. I completely agree with you on that
Grotto or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So I again will leave the table here for any last minute questions that we didn't discuss, which they've been waiting for the whole 2 hours we've been recording.
I was gonna say,
which is they need to know what should they do to get the best usage out of Fast Pass Plus.
Fast Pass. How does your Fast Pass Plus work?
So what you need to do right now? Have you bought your tickets?
Yes.
Okay. You need to download the My Disney Experience app.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
This is probably the same one that you linked whatever dining reservations you chose to do. Also, by the way, Animal Kingdom has a very nice restaurant called the Pandora restaurant. Satoshi Canteen. They have a really nice walk up there, and then
that's a counter service.
Yeah, and then the sit down restaurant at Animal Kingdom, the Yak and Yeti, is really nice for Indian food. But what I would do. All you need to do is you can make 3 per day to begin with. So when you get 30 days out, I think it's like 45 days if you're staying on property. But when you're 30 days out from your trip, you can start booking your fast passes. And just because you don't see the ride you want, that doesn't mean that somebody won't drop it later. So, you may want to kind of hold off. But I would say book everything, and then you can kind of exchange it later. But when your tickets are there will be an option to link your tickets to your My Disney Plus or your My Disney Experience, and then you choose which rides you want to do. to begin with. And then once you've used your 3, you can add more. But usually the ones that you add more are going to be things that are going to be smaller, like living with the land, or you might see like the Finding Nemo show seating or something like that. You know, like you want your hard hitting attractions to be the 3 fast passes you have, and make them for as early as you'd like them to be.
Okay.
Like as early as you think you'll be there. Although here.
Well, let me interject. The reason he's saying that is that once the time passes for those 3 that you have booked ahead of time, you can start booking more on the day of. But you have to get through the 3 first.
But
Gotcha.
you know, the other thought though is that if you are like rope dropping and you're gonna like rush to something and there's no extra magic hours, you may not want to use it on that first big ride. Like let's say you're going to go straight over to Pandora and do Flight of Passage. If there's no extra magic hours and everybody's on fair game and you rope drop that park, you may not want to use a fast pass on that because you're going to be one of the first people on that. So why waste that fast pass?
Okay.
You guys are rope dropping, right? Or is that not decided?
What time is rope drop?
Hours are of the day we're going to be there.
It's usually between 8 and 9.
Maybe.
We'll see.
They do have coffee everywhere there.
That's great. Oh, good. Good to know.
And anyway.
Can I read you guys real quick the 3? So Melissa, I, and our other friends who are going, like we tried to narrow down like the 3 fast passes we were going to prioritize for each park. And I'm curious if you guys are like, no, you got it totally wrong, or
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so Magic Kingdom, we have Mine Train, Haunted Mansion, and Stitch.
No.
Well, first of all, why is Stitch on that list? Is Stitch even open anymore?
One of our friends wanted to do it.
Well, Stitch, I don't think it's open.
Stitch isn't even open.
Our other
anymore.
option was to, okay. So then we had thought that. So our other option was to switch it out for Thunder Mountain.
Yeah, I would say switch that out, and I would also say switch out Haunted Mansion because Haunted Mansion, you bypass the best parts of the line, all the interactive elements by doing the fast pass.
Oh,
okay. Well, first of all, you should go on Haunted Mansion more than once. Let's just put that out there. But I would get a fast pass for Haunted Mansion because it can get a wait. You know,
okay.
The last time I was there, we were talking like 45-minute hour waits in the middle of the day.
But there's no Stitch Fast Pass anymore. That's not a thing.
Yeah, that's weird because the attraction is closed. Is it a Fast Pass for the meet and greet? Because I heard they put a meet and greet in where the ride was.
I don't know.
There's a meet and greet, but there's rarely a Fast Pass.
I want to do Stitch.
Nope, that's gone. That's gone.
Oh, okay. So scratch that off then. And then, so for Hollywood Studios, we have Slinky Dog, Rock and Roller Coaster, and Tower of Terror.
Okay, the problem that you're going to have there, though, is there are different tiered attractions.
That was going to be my other question.
What does that mean?
What does this mean?
There are some attractions that are more valuable than others. So basically, you can't say that if you go to Animal Kingdom, you can't just say, oh, well, I want Safari, I want Everest, I want Flight of Passage. It's kind of like the old A ticket and B ticket idea, or the C ticket, D ticket, E ticket. There are certain things that are considered higher quality
E tickets,
better.
I don't know. I don't think it's the quality. I think it's the demand.
More like that. Yeah, that's
what it comes
a
down
better
to.
way to put it.
And the really easy way to say this is that they're not going to let you pick all your first 3 fast passes, the 3 most in demand attractions in the park. They let you choose one in-demand attraction, and then they divert you to 2 other attractions that don't even need fast pass to distribute crowds. That's why I hate it. That's why I don't like it.
Because you can't get both Pandora rides because both of those Pandora rides are very popular right now. But you can get
so then
Pandora
you couldn't
ride,
do,
and then they'll give you Pandora, they'll give you the Safari, and they'll probably try. Then you could probably get something like Finding Nemo priority seating, but you're going to be like, okay, whatever.
Right. So then for Animal Kingdom, can we do Flight of Passage in Everest or no?
I think I'm not sure.
They're probably not. So I would think rope drop one and then fast pass the other.
Okay.
Or Everest actually does have a single rider line, by the way. So if the regular standby is too long and you don't have a fast pass for it, you could always do that.
Oh, you are right. That is the one ride I can think of that has single rider.
Okay, so maybe prioritize Flight of Passage then.
I would say that 'cause that's the most popular ride in probably the whole resort right now because it's the newest. Well, Slicky Dog's newer, but that's still, I think that's probably the most popular ride in the park.
You'll be able to get Dinosaur as well. For sure. Like Dinosaur's considered like a lower grade now, so you'd be able to get like that knocked out.
Okay, that's good to know.
And so once you pass these three, like you could, you'll see what's available. They'll show you what's available, and you might be able to get fast passes, an hour before, like, more similar to the way that we're used to using it in Disneyland.
But when you're 30 days out, you're going to want to do this at you're in California. I think it's going to be at 9:01 your time at night, because I think it rolls over at midnight from what I understand.
What is your dates? Because are you less than 30 days or?
We're gonna be 30 days out as of this Sunday, the 23rd.
Okay, then what you're going to want to do, it may be that time or it may be 8 a.m. and I forget which way it is, but either way, prepare to check at 9:01 if you can do it for the first day, or if you're feeling really anxious, wake up at 5:01 and in the morning and book them. But you're going to want to get those set up for everybody all at once, because it would be a bummer if not, if you're not in direct control of everybody else's ticket, if they're doing things at their own pace, they may not be able to get all those fast passes as well. They may get different times.
So, Grant, how do you control other people's fast passes?
You all link it to an account, or what you do is you basically say, hey, we're going to have a point in time where we're all waking up, and you message each other and say, okay, we're booking this one, and this one, and then try to get it so everybody's on it. But I'm not really sure how to. My wife's the one who links everybody onto our one account. I don't know how many people you're going with.
We're going with 4 people. I think I was able to link everybody because I can see everyone's ticket on my app now.
Okay, if you can do that, then you can get everybody's fast passes, so you'll be the one in charge likely.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You'll be the
because it'll say,
yep.
It'll say get fast passes for which people, and you'll just select all of them.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
and then magic bands, worth it or not?
No. Waste money.
Well, first of all,
really?
don't you get them when you book, automatically?
No, you only get the magic bands if you're staying on property.
No, I've gotten. Is that changed? Because are you sure? Really?
Because my mom bought a ticket online recently when she went out to visit us, and she just got a plastic ticket.
Wow. You know what? You're right. Every time I've gotten one, I did stay. I just didn't stay my whole trip. That's why I was confused. Yeah. So buying it, no. So what I liked about Magic Bands was that. Obviously it's easy for, going on, for checking into your fast passes, but it was easy. I liked it for opening and closing my hotel door because I didn't have to take any keys out. And I was like, wow, this is so convenient. But you're not staying on property. So
and you can pay for things with that and charge it to your room if you have a Magic Band. And the whole design of that is you swipe your hand and you're not doing that action of reaching for your wallet or opening up your purse or whatever, and you're not thinking about how much money you're really spending.
Okay.
So
in place of a magic band, you just scan your ticket, how they do at
Disneyland.
Yeah, they'll just give you a ticket and they'll just kind of read it at the Magic Band stations or at the Fast Pass stations. They'll just read it there and they'll just go through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Waste of money.
Yeah, I mean, what they now have at Disneyland, they have because they have for the Max Pass or whatever it's called. It's the same stations. But yeah, I guess if you have to buy it, I wouldn't think basically it's like you're paying them to make it easier to give them more money.
But isn't that's how Disney works, isn't it? Like, I feel like it's just a cycle of me giving them my money.
Exactly.
You shouldn't have to pay them to pay them, but you just pay them once. It's I really don't like it because it really makes you have to like choose what you want to do so far in advance.
It's the opposite of Universal. Like, it's basically Universal. You go there and you don't have to think about where you're going to eat. You just eat when you want to eat. But here, it's like you have to plan way in advance what you think you're going to want to do at that time, and it's a little less fun in that regard.
Aww.
Especially from as a Disneyland local, where no one has that mentality going to Disneyland. Let me plan out my day. I mean, I'm sure a few people do, but most of us don't.
Like 30 days from now, do you think you're going to want to have pizza at 1 p.m.? It's like, like how can you think that far in advance and really get like an accurate readout as to what you want to be doing at that moment?
Literally, you can't. So it's more of like at 1 p.m. A month from now, you are going to have pizza, whether you want it or not. All right. Anything else we didn't cover in this? You think I got a good grasp of this fast pass nonsense?
I hope so.
So you're gonna wake up. You gotta wake up early.
Stay up late, I guess, on Saturday night.
Well, no, but not even late. Just 9:01 your time. You're in California
because it'll be midnight.
I think it switches over at midnight.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then you're just gonna do whatever winds up working, whichever way it winds up going for you. I forget if it's 8 a.m. or midnight. And I really forget which. My wife is asleep and she's the expert on all that. But you can wind up checking out like first time. Like you'll want to just do that all 4 days in a row that you're going to be there. So basically, you're going to have a routine for those 4 days. Like, it's time to look at fast passes.
Oh, yeah, the first day, you can't book it for the whole trip. You have to do it for each day. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a pain. I thought you were able to do the whole trip starting from 30 days. But it's 30 days from the day you're going to be in that particular park.
Correct.
But how do they know what park you're going to be in?
Well, because you're booking fast passes for that day. You can only book for one. You can only book for one park per day, so they're just going to assume that that's the day.
Right. And since
they're just going to read that.
Since you guys aren't park hopping, you're not going to deal with that kind of BS.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like you need to take like a college course to prepare for your trip. and keep in mind that you guys have the knowledge of Disneyland in your back pocket. Imagine somebody that has never been to any Disney park before.
That's what I'm thinking of. These poor people, especially if like I don't know, foreigners. That's even more complicated.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of leads to what I want to give you another warning about is the overall vibe of Walt Disney World as opposed to Disneyland. In my humble opinion, Grant, you might disagree, but is that Disneyland, the vibe seems to be, everybody's having fun and it's carefree, and good times are being had by all. And the general vibe that I feel in Walt Disney World from other people is like anger, resentment, frustration,
and a money shakedown as well.
Yeah, because there's these families that have taken this trip and they didn't know what they're getting themselves into. They're hot, they're tired, and they're being nickel and dimed every second.
And they've maybe gone to Disneyland and they thought it would be like that, and they didn't realize how big the parks were, and then. They forget about how hot and humid it is. So what happens is you have your family of 4 and, hey, mommy, daddy, we want water. And, okay, I'll go buy you some bottles of water. And then they spend $20 on 4 bottles of water. And then an hour later, hey, we need to do this. And just people, there's no really easy way to like prepare for what you think you'll be spending versus what you'll actually be spending.
Yeah, I mean, for people that don't prepare at all, just think, we'll just go with the flow. with my family of young children, because that's mostly families and tourists, as in Disneyland's mostly locals and
Yeah.
a whole bunch of adults
Without children.
without children. Yeah, so I just noticed that, especially Magic Kingdom in particular, it was like such a different vibe. I just all these people are obviously miserable. So it's gonna be like, oh, that's a different vibe. That, I mean, you'll adapt to it, but but it's a little different. I mean, so you would agree with me on that one, Grant?
Oh, absolutely, and that's bringing me back to the point where I said I've seen so many people having meltdowns there because it's just so much all at once, and it's not necessarily the family's fault. It's just like, you're in a situation in Florida weather. Can be, I mean, you're going in January, but it can tend to be very aggressive. And when you're going and it's just super loud and overstimulation everywhere, it may be a little too much.
On top of the fact that these families of four are spending a week in the same room.
Oh God,
so
yeah.
They're with them, and if they have like teenagers or something, they're like with them 24 hours a day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That happened when I went when I was 18, and I went with my brothers, and we had a breakdown near the very end of the whole thing, because it was just like a thing where like myself and my brother got into it because it was just like there was no break from anybody. You're going, doing theme park. That was when we did 4 days of Disney, 2 days of Universal, 1 day of SeaWorld, 1 day of Busch Gardens,
wow,
and a day at the beach. And we're all in one hotel room. There was just no break away from anybody. Well, there comes a point.
That brings up an interesting point for your guys' trip. Do you guys have your own rooms in the timeshare, or what's your situation?
We do. The timeshare has 2 full bedrooms and then 2 living spaces that have pull-out couch. So essentially, we're gonna each have kind of our own bedroom.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be great, because when you spend that much time around even your closest people, you can start to get irritable after. There's always a point, especially with traveling with significant others, which you guys aren't doing on this trip. But there's always a point where you're just like, oh, you just like, what the? Stop chewing so loud.
Oh my God.
That kind of crap. So it's good to have your own space at the end of the night to unwind.
Yes, that'll
exactly.
be nice.
Well, I think I don't know much more we could do for you guys besides take the trip for you.
We could have little earbuds in our ears where you guys just kind of tell us what to do the whole time we're there.
And you need to wear Google Glass so I could see what's going on.
or I guess if I'm off one of those days, I will guide you and be your fearless leader.
I was gonna say Grant might be able to meet up with you guys during this adventure. Yeah. As he just mentioned in the past, he can go wherever he wants to.
Live wisdom on us.
But the amount of time that we've been talking, I would have been able to drive there.
Oh, jeez.
Well, Grant, if you do go, just if there's one thing you do, is that you stand in front of the entrance of Pirates.
Wearing my foolish mortal shirt.
Yeah, you can't miss them. And at all costs, save Tanitia the pain and hurt and anguish.
I'm gonna get on it. I'm getting on that ride. I don't care what you say.
If I have to call security from California,
Disneyland security will fly out to Florida to stop me from getting on that ride.
I'm not sure what I'm gonna say, but what did I say to security that would just stop you from getting on one ride as opposed to getting you kicked out of the park? I don't know, but whatever. Do what you want. It's your life. But
there are roach boats.
Yeah.
Oh.
I already forgot about that, but thanks for reminding me.
I'll keep reminding. I'm going to, I should try to find that clip. Because you're right, I made that a separate clip where I talked about the roaches.
You can tag that on the end of this.
We'll see if I have the effort in that. But anyways, we've reached the point of deliriousness.
Yep.
I think so.
But I'm really eager to. I'm gonna love following along on the Instagram stories, seeing how you guys play this out. I mean, I'm very envious, Roxy as well, that we can't go. Because we always want to go, but Roxy hasn't actually. I'll speak on her behalf. She hasn't actually been back to Walt Disney World since 2012. So, she has a lot that she doesn't know about or has experienced. So we're all itching to get back there. I always am as well, especially my last trip, because my last trip I had half a day to go to Walt Disney World, so I feel really cheated. And I'm just gonna live through you guys.
That works.
All right.
Now, this is your last chance. Anything else, or we're signing off?
Do you have any other questions, Melissa?
I don't know. Not sure.
There's so much.
We have your contact info.
Yeah, I guess you could get in touch with me, but as far as the purpose of the show, I refuse to speak about this unless it's being recorded for the public.
I will not answer your question privately.
Yeah, I think we've given the public enough of your private itinerary, so we're going to sign off. So we'll see you guys back on the show after the trip.
All right.
All right.
Okay, if you want to contact us here at the show, you can do so by emailing us, creepykingdom@gmail.com. And of course, for show notes, links to our social media, all of our articles, videos, and everything Creepy Kingdom, just go to creepykingdom.com. And once again, right now, currently, at the present time, we have Foolish Mortals online for you to watch exclusively in our Patreon. Bonus footage coming soon. Patreon exclusive podcast coming soon. Now is the time to jump into our Patreon, because we're just gearing up. That's patreon.com/creepykingdom. Coming up very soon, we have a brand new CK News Flash episode, as well as some new Creepy Kingdom movie crypt episodes coming your way, so get ready. But until next time, the park is closed.